Greetings, welcome to a short video on how to use our textbook to complete assignments. So we'll use section 1.1 as sort of grist for the mill here, the section what is a function. So I'll let you read the little bit of blurb up there at the beginning of it, and let's scroll down to the important part for this video, which is how to get through an assignment in detail and what is expected of you. So if you start reading the textbook beginning on page 3, you're going to come across the definition of a function. Let's go ahead and look at the book here. Scroll up to page 3, and lots of information about that. So make sure you read through this and you take notes and you understand these definitions. Very important. And now when we hit page 4, we hit our first media example. So do the data represent a function? So what you're supposed to do when you hit one of these is to work along with the video that corresponds to it. So if we go back to the site here, you'll see that there are links down here in resources. You'll see where the media problem link is, and that's what you're going to see on all the assignments in the future, links to different resources that you need in the book. But I have a link right here, so we'll go ahead and grab that. And when I click on that, I'll save you the pain of having it load it. You'll end up here into YouTube, which gives you a short video where our authors, one of our authors, works the problem for you in detail. And so your job is to watch through it, and she's going to give you the answers to these problems as you go. And you're supposed to work through this problem, make sure that it makes sense for you. So you want to work along with her, all right? So then once you've done that, the next thing that you're going to come across with after a media example is going to be a worked example. So if we go back to the textbook again here, you come across the next page on page 5, problem 2, which is a worked example. And so investigating function relationships. These are meant to be read. So the first example was meant to be watched and worked along with interactively. The second one now, you're just going to go ahead and read through it, make sure it is all making sense to you. Many times in the worked examples, they present additional information to progress your knowledge on the topic. So in this case, there's additional terminology. Now we hit problem 3. Go back over here to our browser here for a minute. And we hit our first you try exercise. So you need to go ahead and work these right on the page. And keep in mind that this is a workbook style textbook and it's designed to be written in. So I'm expecting you to actually write your solutions up right on the pages of the book. You're going to be scanning this in along with the rest of your assignment to be turned in. So I'll have a review of the submitting work here in just a moment at the end of going through stuff. And then on page 461 of the textbook, if you want to go there, all of the answers to these problems are actually available. This is actually the only problem or the only type of problem in the book that the authors provide answers to. The rest of them you're going to have to either ask me or your peers if you're having trouble with a particular problem. So be sure and work these, and be sure and check your work on these to make sure they make sense to you when you get done with them, okay? All right, so then now the rubber hits the road, and now it's time for you to work a practice problem. And what the practice problems are, those are the traditional exercises that you find in a textbook, but in our textbook they're all condensed in one place. I have them in a separate tab here in my PDF reader. So lesson 1, practice problems, and again you are to come in and you're to work right on these documents. In other words, you're supposed to go ahead and actually put your work directly in here. So identify the input quantity, include units, and you would say the input quantity is time, and to include the units you would put minutes. Okay, so in other words, you're supposed to write right in the document. So those, of course, you're going to be doing pen and paper. Use a erasable pen would be great, thank you very much, if you wouldn't mind, or pencil, because you're getting those all ready to be scanned in at the end where you're going to go ahead and turn those in for me. Okay, so that's basically the workflow on every one of your problem sets that you're going to be working. You're going to be working media problems, reading the work problems, and then doing the practice problems. And then once you're done with that, you're going to scan those all into a single document, into a PDF document, and you're going to put those up for me. Well, hopefully that's been helpful. If you need more assistance, please do not be shy about asking for it, either through the Q&A forum or send me a message directly.